I am so sorry. Chef Bones gave me one of his best renditions of the Tenderbones song, and my phone was in photo mode. So I went ahead and I pulled this rendition off the internet. Sorry, Chef Bones.
When you get home, you're gonna eat some tender bones.
Tenderbones Rib Shack, Bear, Delaware. Also now in Dover. Chef Bones using his big personality to cook up big flavors. Big cheesesteak, tasty cheesesteak. I'm going right to the judges. Enjoying this big, beautiful cheesesteak at Wilmington Brew Works.
March Cheesesteak Madness, rainy day. We've been getting lucky with the weather. Tender bones.
Not at all.
Tender bones.
I remember this one well.
Here's my piece, and okay, we're gonna try the taste. I mean, some people say I'm a roll snob, but I gotta tell you, I'm not crazy about that.
Yeah. And it's wet.
It's
on
wet,
the outside, but
and it's alligator. Okay.
having had this before, I'm expecting messy, and I know it's messy, but delicious messy. So
Good.
that's the thing. This might be the best meat I've had, or at least flavor.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see that.
You like it the last?
It's definitely not the worst, but it's
Right.
definitely not the best either.
Yeah.
Well, it's the last one, so it has to be the best. Isn't that the whole game?
I do like the fact that the cheese is throughout and it's not just a bland meat sandwich.
Yeah, very much so.
The meat kind of does taste like ground beef, but it doesn't take it away. Like the texture of it doesn't really taste like a cheesesteak. But would I still get another one? Absolutely.
But I think it all plays well together. Not crazy about the roll. Do love the cheese. I love the cheese throughout. It's probably the most consistent experience throughout the roll that we've had in the last few steaks, because really, other than getting bread or not getting bread, it tastes the same pretty much everywhere. And I'm with Justin in the fact that I would definitely make the trip down there to pick one of these up, bring it back home, and split it with somebody. I think I'm not gonna eat the whole thing, but.
Hello.
Hello. Okay, here's the Tenderbones steak.
Tastes better than it looks.
James, thanks for coming today. Hope you enjoyed everything. I'm Donnie Scalessa from Scalessa's My Way Old Stick Kitchen here, and I really appreciate you guys coming. Thanks, and good luck in your adventures with all the cheesesteaks you got.
Scalessa's My Way Old School Italian Kitchen Restaurant, Wilmington, Delaware, and holy mackerel, if you want a South Philly feel without going to South Philly, you want to stay right there in Wilmington, go to Donnie's place. You really feel like you're in Donnie's kitchen in his house. Everybody that walked in was, hey Donnie, hey Donnie, hey Donnie. Great feeling, just love the warmth of Donnie's place. Long video about the cheesesteak, so I'm going to talk about what Donnie does even better. His meatballs, very well known for his meatballs, and the butter cake. Holy mackerel, the butter cake. Warm with confectioner sugar. Go for the butter cake, and if you happen to get a cheesesteak,
So the Cheesesteak
it's a
Adventure
bonus.
March. Cheesesteak Madness continues. Lovely Monday evening in Wilmington. And look, you'll never know who you're going to run into in Wilmington. Amigo Dan. Guest eaters. Joe and Justin, you can't see them too well because of the sunlight. Darn sunlight.
Rolling.
I could see onions. I could see mushrooms. Looks like they spent some quality time on the grill and together. This is fresh cut ribeye, and it's noticeable.
Much more meat forward. Meat's the best so far.
Yep. And he toast a roll.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is that why I'm getting that off the top?
I think it brings out a little bit of flavor when they toast a roll. You can taste the difference in the meat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Definitely meat forward.
Yeah. The meat is definitely different, even though the cheese was the same as the last one. Like, it could have been, unlike the last sandwich where the cheese made the sandwich, this it could have is good with or without.
Well, this was meat forward. That was more balanced, and I was coming out saying I'd prefer it to be more balanced, but I like this better because the meat was so good. I wanted that to be there, and then everything else kind of.
It's like I didn't get the mushrooms, but I felt like I wasn't really missing it because everything was just so like mixed well.
That's exactly what I
Like
thought.
you were getting essence without even getting the bites. The caramelized onions, spot on.
Yeah, definitely the best onions. I just felt like everything, all the subtle things brought everything else up. So,
This would be the first one that I didn't hesitate about a score. Too.
really,
Yeah.
you weren't worried about that?
No.
Okay, so syrupy roll, and if you don't know, once you toast it, kind of gets a little nutty flavor. Almost feels like I'm repeating myself, doesn't it?
Makes you nutty, doesn't it? When you're
Yeah.
repeating yourself, it's like the worst feeling ever.
Yeah, it does it. But good meat. You can definitely tell the quality with that fresh cut ribeye, and didn't overcook it. So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Great little place. The onions and mushrooms, just for me, they could have been, a little bit bigger pieces, so I could get just a little bit more bite. But that's a personal preference. You know what? Good cheesesteak.
Good cheesesteak.
Real good cheesesteak.
Cheesesteak Madness, round 2, Philadelphia, Delaware region. Here we go.
Also known as the Delaware, New Jersey region.
Whatever.
But I'll take that in.
You'll take that.
New Jersey knows over there.
I'm from Philly, so I don't give a fuck. Beep. So what are we doing? Scalessa's and
Scalessa's,
Tenderbones.
Yeah, we've got the final here between Scalessa and
Tenderbones.
So here we have
Thank you.
2 cheesesteaks that one totally stretches the definition of what a cheesesteak is, and one is the quintessential cheesesteak, at least in this round. So we've got Scalessa's with ribeye, we've got cheese, we've got karate chops, good stuff. Are you damn it? And then we got Tenderbones, which is a my way or the highway type sandwich, and they just jam pack it, and that is the most thin description of a cheesesteak. It is, what do I want to say, not the best. Not the worst, not the best. And then I have Scalessa's, and it's like head of the pack, and somebody knows what they're doing. And when you say cheesesteak, I'm gonna think of that.
I think people focus on different things when they're tasting food in general, and cheesesteaks in particular in this case. And I think, for me, Scalessa's and Tenderbones were the two top choices. And the reason for that for me is it's all about balance. I like the right balance in a cheesesteak. If I'm tasting onions first and meat second, it's just not going to fly. And both of these excelled with that. And I'll start with Tenderbones. I mean, there's a lot going on in Tenderbones. It's a massive, massive cheesesteak. There's some arguments as to whether they're jumping the shark on what is a cheesesteak. It's a cheesesteak to me. I've had it a number of times. I would gladly have it every week if I could. So there's a lot going on there, but to me everything works together and is deliciously balanced. I think it has flavor. For me, the Tenderbones meat was my favorite. It was my flavor profile. It was not necessarily everybody else's, but that was like, if I want the actual taste of the meat, that's what stands out first. But on the flip side, Scalessa's Scalessa's ran the whole gauntlet on this in terms of everything tasting just so. Decent bread, decent cheese. The toppings were there, but they weren't like screaming themselves into place. And the meat was delicious. In fact, in terms of the quality of the meat, they probably win. When I look at everything, for me, it's a toss-up in terms of what I was looking at. I think there's a lot of good stuff going on. I'm going to pass on this to Dan from here.
Mr. Dan the Man,
Oh no, Black Pepper Dan.
the BPD.
There we go.
BPD FTW.
There we go. You know what? I'm going to put this in terms of it's March and it's a bracket. So I'm going to put this up against the Harlem Globetrotters, up against the Philadelphia 76ers.
Neither of them have ever been in a bracket.
Neither of them have ever been in a bracket. Thank you very much.
yeah, that's
And you know what? I don't think anybody on either one of these teams knows how to cook a cheesesteak. But I'm going to use them anyway. You know what? I'm going to put the Harlem Globetrotters. That's the Tenderbones. You know what? You enjoy watching them? You do. You enjoy watching them or whatever.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So,
You never know what's going to happen when you swallow.
and then of course, you know what? I'm going to put Scalessa's as the Philadelphia 76ers. You know what? Who doesn't love them?
Yep.
Well, all the other teams except for, Philly. But anyway, you know what? If you put them head to head like that, it really kind of explains things to me for that, which is, you enjoy watching the Harlem Globetrotters, but you know what? You also enjoy your 76ers if you're looking for a basketball tournament or any type of tournament. That's my take on things with that.
So you're saying one's a joke and one's an actual
I'm
team?
saying they're both good to look at. I'm saying it's what you're there for.
I think he's saying one is entertainment and one is quality. When we're eating, we want to be entertained, or do we want a delicious meal?
I want to point out that they are two intelligent men sitting right here. These judges are high quality. But you know what? Now it's coming down to the judging. So, I'm going to go first. And I got to give the nod to Scalessa.
Scalessa's.
It's frozen meat, but no, I'm kidding. It's Scalessa's.